All right, so these are the protests. This is the Aam Aadmi protest over Liquorgate, which is currently taking place. We saw the BJP protest taking place over the last month and just a few hours ago as well. But this is the Aam Aadmi protest over the Liquorgate probe that is currently underway. And these are the visuals coming in on your screen. These are live visuals coming in. We'll try to get you a closer look at what they are saying. They are, of course, sloganeering against CBI being used at the behest of the ruling party and agencies being used at the behest of the central government. This is something that they've been reiterating. They've said that the scam is an entire sham. Yesterday at the Delhi Assembly, Arvind Kejriwal as well brought up that issue, and now the party workers have taken to the streets to protest over what they believe is an absolutely illegal probe into something which is not a scam. They stand by it. The Aam Aadmi Party has been standing by not just Manish Sisodia but also by their policy, which they say they weren't allowed to implement in full, and now they're crying foul over that investigation. They believe it is vendetta politics that is out at play, and that is what the party workers out on the streets are decrying. All right, this is the protest underway in the national capital, an answer to BJP's protests that we saw taking place just a few hours ago. And the Aam Aadmi Party workers saying that the probe that has been started and the FIR that has been filed is completely unfair. Going across to my colleague Rupashri Nanda, she tracks up very closely. Very good afternoon to you, Rupashri. Now the AAP workers have taken to the streets, again reiterating the fact that they believe this is an absolutely unfair probe that is actually being done to stop the smooth working of their party.
Absolutely. In fact, the information of the protest was given yesterday itself by Aam Aadmi Party MLA Saurabh Durgesh Pathak, and Durgesh Pathak now, even as we speak, is there at that protest. And you can see all the Aam Aadmi Party MLAs and workers, making a huge noise in front of the BJP headquarters. Essentially, they are trying to make the point that their Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is innocent, and they are reiterating the point that even after 14 hours of raid, nothing substantial was actually recovered from the Deputy Chief Minister's house. And it was not just his house that was raided for 14 hours. It was Janmashtami, and on that day, even his office was raided, and his ancestral village. It was also, raided. So every house that Sisodia is linked to, everywhere he has his property, all of those, places have been raided. And Aam Aadmi Party is trying to make the point that nothing objectionable was discovered. And this was indicated by Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal himself on the floor of the House yesterday. And he said that they ripped apart the bed, they ripped apart the pillows, they clicked on the walls of the house, but they could not get even, anything that was unaccounted for, anything that was illegal, anything that was objectionable. So what was this raid for? So Aam Aadmi Party essentially over the past 3 days, if you notice, has been making the point that the raid on Sisodia's house essentially is the outcome of what it has shown. The BJP's hunger for governments at various states, and this has been stated by Deputy Chief Minister himself in a tweet, and later he spoke about it during his Gujarat visit, and even yesterday he spoke about it on the floor of the House. That he was given an offer allegedly by a top person from the BJP to another person a day after the CBI raid, and the offer allegedly was that Sisodia breaks the party and join the Aam Aadmi Party. In turn, he made the CM face of Delhi, and the cases against him will also be withdrawn. What I'm saying essentially are the on-record statements that have been made by Deputy Chief Minister, by the Chief Minister, by the various spokespersons, and by the Aam Aadmi Party workers and MLAs. It remains to be seen actually when the CBI takes the next course of action. Because on the streets of Delhi today, you see two protests. There are protests against Manish Sisodia And there are protests also in favor of Manish Sisodia opposing the BJP. So it
Thank you, Rupashri, for bringing us up to speed with the details of that protest.